recording and having me on here, right? So let's talk about the games we have coming out at Gen Con. So we've had a lot of games coming out this year in general. And I think with COVID, it's kind of been difficult because of all the different convention stuff being canceled and whatnot. So, but for games we were having released at Gen Con or virtual Gen Con, our first one kicking off is Harry Potter House Cup competition, which is also right behind me right now. It's
Awesome.
pretty cool. Yeah. So in that game, I can grab it, but I think we'll just kind of do it quick. So what it is, this is our first kind of worker placement, and kind of you're sending the students to school. They aren't battling Death Eaters or defending a location or doing any of these things. They're finally just going to class and being actual students, which is good for them, right? They get to do all these things. So the game's designed by Nate Heiss and developed by Cammy Mandel. So it's a worker placement Euro style game where you're playing as, also kind of cool. The box has the different houses on the side of on the box top there, which is super fun. So it's 7 rounds where you're sending 3 different students from each house to class. You'll be sending them to like the professor's office or to the classrooms, and they'll be gaining magic, charms, and potions abilities. So if you have the board here, it's a big old board, super cool. All the different stuff. I'll fold it up, but it's just massive. And we've got these awesome character boards for each house. And it has 3 students for each. And they're also double layered boards. So what's fun about that is it lets us put these Hogwarts tokens and slide them right in there.
Oh, okay.
That way they can slide and keep track of what's going on there. So as you're going to class and you're putting down your kids on each of the tokens, they'll raise up their abilities in these stats, which would be great. And then while that's going on, what will happen is you're trying to do stuff to defeat and earn these challenges. So there's all different kinds of challenges. Where like, take your newts, go on a walk, learn a spell. And all these things will give you, you'll turn in like, oh, you got 4 this and 3 of the charms. Great. That'll also earn you points. And those points will go into your overall house points, just like in Harry Potter. But we score those in a very cool way. Each point is worth 5 or so, and you've got these gems here. So they all go into a giant vial, and then so each one is like worth 5 points. There's a whole bunch in there. So as each round goes up, it stacks up, and it's kind of fun. How do you tell who's got what as you're going along, which is great. So everything packs up and it goes right into the box, which is nice too. There's a huge stack of challenge cards and other things you're trying to compete with, which is cool. And everything is icon based.
Okay.
So there's not a lot of text in this one. Only the text is for the flavor based stuff. And so you've got all your different icons there. And then once you get to year 3, you can start going to different places outside of Hogwarts, just like in the movies. So we have a whole stack of cards here, like Hogsmeade, the Forbidden Forest, Shrieking Shack, and so on. So that's always really cool.
Awesome. So the characters themselves, the students, do they have their own characters, or is it just based on?
Oh, yeah. No. So it's like for Hufflepuff, you've got like Cedric Diggory is going to be out there. For Slytherin, you've got Draco Malfoy and Gregory Goyle. And for Ravenclaw, you've got Luna and Cho Chang. So everyone has their favorite students, essentially, right? So
awesome.
And it's placed like I think book 4 is roughly where the game is taking place at. So you've got Diggory is still Hufflepuff, right? So no spoilers. But so this game is out now, which is super cool. So it's available now in stores. You can get it on our website. You can get it wherever you buy games.
And what's the price point for that one at this point?
It's a $50 game, which is super good. So another cool game we've got that's coming out at Gen Con, kind of, is our other Harry Potter game, which is the Charms and Potions expansion. So that's the expansion for Hogwarts Battle. So I don't have a copy here. They're still coming in.
Mm-hmm.
So this will be available in about a month. And so what it is, it's going to add a true 5th player to the Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle game.
Okay.
So at the 4-player game, where if you haven't played before, Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle is a deck-building cooperative game where you play through each of the movies. So there's like 7 games in one for the base game. Now, we had an expansion come out last year, which was a Monster Box of Monsters, which introduced Luna as a playable character, but she was a exchangeable character, so you had to pick between 4 characters to play her as, and they added in 4 very monster-based games within like the game. And now this one adds a new player board expansion. So you're adding on a charms and potions board to your player board. It adds a 5th character and then all kinds of cool stuff to build your potions, and then 4 more games that are about as challenging as the ones from Monster Box.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we're really excited for that one. And then another game, because we got so many games. We did about maybe 30 games this year overall for hobby and stuff like that, which is just fantastic. We've been rocking and rolling even with everything happening with COVID. We were all able to work from home and keep going, which has been really nice. So we have our first partnership with AEG. We're doing Marvel Smash Up.
Ooh.
I know, right?
That's
so I don't
definitely
have that
something
box.
I need to get.
Yeah, it's really cool. So I can only say so much because we haven't teased everything for it yet. But we have talked about how it's going to be all Marvel stuff, which is fantastic. We've talked about how the Avengers are going to be in there. Hydra's going to be in there. The Ultimates have been previewed too. So we've got a lot more factions to come out with. But it's going to be everything you know and love about Smash Up, but with that awesome Marvel flavor.
So is it going to be, there's the original Smash Up box set that has the 4 factions and all the things you need. So right. Is this going to be an expansion to that, or is it going to be a standalone, like Munchkin?
It's full standalone.
Okay.
It's full standalone. So you'll be able to do right out of the box, hit it up. Of course, all Smash Ups can be smashed up, so you'll be fine there. But this one is all standalone. You'll be good to go with that. So I'll have more information on that soon. But we haven't previewed too much for it yet because everything's still kind of getting together.
Yeah, no, that sounds great.
Yeah, we're really excited for that one. And so then for another cool game we've got, because we've got just so many, I'm trying to think what's going to be coming out. So earlier this year, we previewed and released our Coded Chronicles game engine, which was for the first one was ScoobyDoo Escape from the Haunted Mansion, which was designed by Sen-Hu Lim and Jay Cormier, which has been super fun. And so we're coming out with The Shining as the next game in that this year. So
I definitely have a fan base for that. That will definitely hit the shelves here.
Yeah, it's going to be super cool. So the Scooby-Doo one is much more family friendly, right? And it's very you're playing as Freddy, Shaggy, Velma, Scooby, the whole crew. But in this one, it's you're at the Overlook Hotel. It kind of plays right in with the book and the movie. So it's got much more of a dark feel to it, but very escape room. It's very thematic. It feels like you're reading the book and watching the movie. So it's people are going to enjoy that.
Perfect.
Then another cool game that we've got coming out. So we had 2 of these games come out this year. So we had Hues and Cues, which are one of our big party games. I think I got the box for it up here. We have our big Hues and Cues, which you may have seen online. So this has been our big party game where you've got a huge color board. And so you'll get a card at the beginning of your turn, and you've got to pick one of those colors. I'll have 4 colors on it. And you're going to give a 1-word clue to guide people to guess which color that is. So if it's a red, you could say like rose or fire truck or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. So everyone will go, and then they'll place down their cone somewhere on the board. Then you'll be like, okay, cool. I need to kind of guide them more in the direction. And then you have to give a second clue, like, shiny Corvette or something like that. And then they'll have to put their cones even closer. And then once everyone's gone, you'll take the score board there, put it down right in the middle of your board. And if anybody's inside, they get 2 points. And if anybody's right outside, they get 1 point.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun play on party games, and it's neat because it's literally kind of like a generational game because it's all about how you perceive color and what words you use to describe that. So everyone's got, like, when you see a green, are you going to say grass? Or are you going to say, trees or moss, right? So I was very floral with that, but but everyone's got different ways that they perceive color and what words you can use to describe.
See, in my head, I go straight to like Warhammer colors.
I mean, if we're going to do that, then I'm in, right? Like, we're all good there. So Goblin Green, I know what color that is. We are rocking on that. So it's funny because we've had some people that have played this who are artists, right? And they're like, oh yeah, we just use the Adobe switches, right? We just know which ones are on the Adobe and just go from there. I'm like, it's pretty funny. So so that's already out. It's been out since May. But if this is one of our big pushes for Gen Con is getting this game out there. Another big one for us is introducing a new game into the Telestrations family. So we're doing Telestrations Upside Drawn.
Oh, wow.
This one is so much fun, but so difficult to play during COVID. So it's a two-player, or it's a team-based Telestration game. So we're on a team, and what'll happen is I'll have a word that I know, and then we'll be playing other teams. So I have to guide you. You've got a pen. Okay, so you've got a pen, Jen, and you can only do. I can tell you up or down, and you can put the pen up or down, and then I'm moving the board, trying to draw something with your pen.
Oh, geez.
So if the clue is sunset, right, and I have to get you to guess sunset, I'm trying to have you draw a sunset, while the other teams are also trying to draw a sunset. So we don't want to say things like island or horizon or any of those things, right? So I'm trying to get you to draw that, and it's crazy fun. It's a blast. So we did a really Kane Klenko did a really good job designing this game. It's funny because we filmed a bunch of panels earlier for the Op at Home, which is what we're doing for this early Gen Con stuff. So we filmed a whole bunch with different designers and our team talking about different games. And I asked Kane how he came up with the idea for Upside Drawn. So he's a banker by profession. He was saying that he was having somebody sign a check, and they had moved their pen while he was trying to push it to him. And it was a whole struggle trying to have him sign this check. And he's like, "Oh my gosh, I got a really good idea for a game," and that was how he came up with the idea for the game there. So
that's awesome. I love the original, especially when you're playing with kids, because they come up with some of the funniest images.
The funniest stuff. Oh man, it's so funny because like we'll come back from a con season, and we usually take a lot of photos of people's boards, and we'll always compare and be like, "Oh my gosh, look at this thing!" Right? So it's funny because for Telestrations, TikTok has been really big for that.
Oh wow.
like we right when it booted up, I'm like, okay, we got to get on TikTok. Like, let's go. You know, we got to find the newfangled thing all the kids are doing, and millions of views are on TikTok stuff for Telestrations. Wow. So it is pretty crazy how that all works out, right? So yeah, so those are both two of our new party games. They're both available now. I believe they're all under $30, which is fun. So a couple other games we've got in the works. I don't have things to show off here. We're having a Munchkin Critical Role is coming out later this year. So we're working with the Critical Role team, doing all of that, which is going to be fantastic. We've tapped into a lot of their favorite artists to have them make cards and items and all kinds of things. So that's going to be just beautiful. And then that'll have a D20 to add to it. So it kind of adds a new Munchkin mechanic.
Nice. No, I'm a huge Munchkin fan. I literally have a shelving unit of just Munchkin stuff because that was one of the games that got me. Yeah. Mine's about 5 times bigger than that.
Yeah. I hear you. It's funny because like all my in college I had like everything from like original base Munchkin to like past Cthulhu 3.
Yeah,
so,
that's
like,
essentially
Blender,
where I started too. Was we had a game night at college. We had one of those overnight events, and my friend goes, "We got to try this game," and we've been hooked ever since. And that was in like 2004.
Oh no, I'm same boat. Yeah, my set that I had walked away, so I had to start fresh. But it's fun now that I get to work on Munchkin. It's kind of fun to do that, right? So we'll have Critical Role, and then we're also coming out with Munchkin Disney.
Yes, I saw that one.
And that's going to be so good. So instead of playing as Disney characters, you're going to be playing as yourself in the Disney world.
Ooh, so kind of like a Kingdom Hearts-esque type thing.
Kind of like a Kingdom Hearts-esque, but not Kingdom Hearts because we do Kingdom Hearts, so it's not Kingdom Hearts.
It's a different thing.
Yeah. It is the blue Disney, not the black Kingdom Hearts colored thing, right? So just to get that out, right? But it's really cool. It's really fun. I love that we get to play around with Disney stuff. I know it's not like a new release for Gen Con, but we also do parks games. So we do games for the parks. So like this year we're coming out with a Clue Villains.
Yes, I saw and looked really interesting.
It's so cool. So it's this giant book, and it's got all the metal characters from all the different villains that are playing in Clue. It's great. If you can get it, I would recommend it. And then I think we're doing a remaster of our Disney Monopoly, which has the pop-up castle.
Ooh, I will definitely have to get that for my niece. I just introduced her to what was it? It was Monopoly Junior Princess Edition, and she would
Oh, nice.
not stop playing. We played for like 4 hours straight, and she kept winning. I felt so bad.
No, it's all good. It's funny because like we do so many games, from all of our hobby games and themes games to and all the classic games, and everyone's like, "Oh man, classic games," and I'm like, "Bro, you don't even know." Like it is so cool being able to work on a lot of these nostalgic properties and then bring them kind of into this modern world,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And it's funny the things that we kind of get to get away with, like as we did our Breaking Bad Monopoly this year, which I can't believe that we even got to do that. And it's funny because the red brand for Monopoly, there's always that big red bar, like with the
Mm-hmm.
Monopoly stuff. We were able to make it blue and a little crystalline. So that was kind of fun there. And then we have like our Godzilla Jenga and Godzilla Monopoly coming out this year, which the Godzilla Jenga has the silliest thing on it. So it's got this Godzilla, which is kind of like the holder for when you build the Jenga.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a rule set too. So after you've put it up, you put Godzilla over to the side. And after a piece of point, he walks closer and closer to the
Oh
building.
no.
So you gotta hurry and get it done before he gets there. So it's and then we're coming out. It's really silly too. I'm just gonna go down our funny list of stuff. So we're coming out with a cup noodles Yahtzee.
Yes, I have that on my list, and I so want that.
It is so good. You have to get it. It's literally a cup noodles uh, cup, but not styrofoam, obviously. But
Mhm.
and we totally had to put in a you could not use this for cooking.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Watch
we
maybe
had to,
spicy.
oh, well, we had to put a little hole in the bottom so that people wouldn't even be tempted to use it for as an actual cup,
Oh
right? So,
my.
so I was trying to get us to put this is a dumb thing, but I was trying to get us to put the rule book folded up into a little spice container, like
Oh,
a little
that would have
spice
been
bag.
perfect.
It would have been so good. We couldn't figure out how to make it product wise, but it would have been so funny just to how you can go. Oh, here, open it up. Here's the rules, right? So it's
Yeah, because I think
um,
the only Yahtzee I own is the Lord of the Rings Yahtzee, and it's because you have the cup from Lord of the Rings that you
right.
can roll the dice in.
Yeah, we've done some really cool ones over the years. I think one of like Cammy always brings up the one that she likes the most, which is we did the Firefly one, and we made Serenity as the cup, which is super cool. I think Bender is my favorite one we've done, where it's literally just Bender's head. So, see, okay, back on track. So, other games we have coming out at Gen Con or would have been coming out at Gen Con. I went over to the Code Chronicles, went over the Harry Potter stuff. Um, we have Friday the 13th. So we're doing a Friday the 13th horror at Camp Crystal Lake game.
Ooh.
So it's a push your luck, kind of a jump scare-esque kind of game, right? Where you're reaching your hand into the bag and you're pulling out different tokens. You're trying to set collection while also get items that will get you to get away from Jason as he's chasing you down.
Mm-hmm.
So it's in the classic kind of like iconic characters. So there's a jock and the band kid and the geek girl and the cheerleader and all that stuff like that. So you're trying to get different items like the keys and gasoline and an axe just to get away from Jason. And each day you have different sets you need to capture in order to get more points. There's cards you can play to pass around the Jason tokens when they get around there. And then on your player board, if you die, when you flip it over, it's a Jason mask, which I always wear. So it's pretty funny. So that'll be coming out later in October, and that's going to be a limited release game. So
then I will definitely put that on my list to pick up.
Yeah, and then we're also coming out with, I can't believe I almost forgot about these. So our 2 new Rising games are coming out. So we have Thanos Rising, obviously, which is our awesome classic Thanos and the Infinity War world there, and then we are I got to sneeze.
Gesundheit. Tight.
Yeah. And last year we had our Death Eaters Rising come out, where you're playing as Order of the Phoenix and Hogwarts characters versus Voldemort as he gathers Death Eaters.
Mm-hmm.
This year we have 2 new ones. We have the Batman Who Laughs Rising. So it's in the DC Dark Universe, and it's got the awesome Batman Who Laughs with his Robin ghouls all there, and you have to stop him from gathering all the different characters to destroy the multiverse. So super dark. The art looks great. And then on the flip side of that, we have a very, very scary one too. We're doing SpongeBob SquarePants.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's SpongeBob SquarePants Plankton Rising. And This one I am the most excited for. So it's got Plankton standing on the chum bucket. We kind of put him in a Thanos type pose with his hand all up and everything. So he's trying to capture the Krabby Patty recipe, and we have to stop him from doing that. So the board is the Krusty Krab, and he'll come onto the kitchen area trying to steal the recipe, but at the same time you have to also make sure that everyone is getting their orders completed, so no one's taking damage in this game, like no one's getting hurt.
Okay.
The red cubes and damage they are taking is their frustration when you haven't completed their order yet. So they'll walk away if you haven't made their order, so you have to manage as SpongeBob and Patrick and Squidward and Sally. You have to make sure that you are completing their orders while also fighting off Plankton.
That's definitely something that would hit the shelf here. Like, I have so many SpongeBob fans in the area here in Montreal that I think that would be hilarious for them to play.
Oh yeah, it's perfect, and I think it's funny because like we do so many, like we're very thematic with our IPs, but a lot of the time, IPs are a lot of these epic struggles against evil, and you're trying to do all these big battles and stuff. But sometimes you're just like, what's fun? Freaking SpongeBob. Right? I'm glad that we get to do some SpongeBob stuff and just have a good time. I've learned more about SpongeBob. Like we all watched it growing up, and every now and then still when it's on TV. But they have a whole lore book about all the characters that are in SpongeBob. So it's like when you see random fish characters that are in the background, like that fish person has a name and a backstory and a whole thing.
Oh wow!
So it's pretty cool. Yeah, so I think that's kind of a good look at what we got coming out for our games at Gen Con. You can find all of our information for our games on theapp.games.com. We're sharing everything on social media, so you can find us on Twitter, Facebook stuff. You can find out more. I didn't really tap into like our national parks games. We have a whole national parks line we've been doing. So Scrabble and National Parks Get Wild. There's a lot of cool stuff we do there. So just find out more about our games. We're going to be doing a whole thing for the Op at Home during Comic-Con and Gen Con. So you can find out more about that. We've got online demos, virtual plays, all kinds of cool stuff. So just go to our website and you can find it.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too.
Bye.